Your 2018 better with another hour of Plymouth and Canton's hit music. We're 88.1 The Park.
Greetings. It is Thursday night. It is the start of a new school year, and it is The Scene here on 88.1 The Park. My name is Nick Brandon. I'm the founder and director and whatever else of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, and we are so proud once again this school year to partner with 88.1 The Park to bring you The Scene, the best of local music, and specifically those incredible, amazing artists that we have here at Plymouth Canton Educational Park every Thursday night near the end of the month throughout this school year. It's good to be back with everybody. It was a really amazing summer at In the Band. We had so many shows. We used our new stage to its utmost potential, I would say, bringing in so many of our classic favorite bands in for shows, but also some new artists, some new faces. So it was a very busy summer, and it's great to have a school year kicked off. Now, you understand that the start of a new school year means a big thing for In the Band, and that is a new 7-inch vinyl. And that means a new 7-inch vinyl release party. So the date is October 27th. That's a Saturday night. It is the last Saturday before Halloween. And of course, this is our Halloween 7-inch release party. We ask everyone to come, support In the Band, more importantly, support our artists, wear a costume. Once again, we are at Park. Doors are going to be at 5 p.m. on October 27th. It's a $10 donation, but it is worth every penny. Why? Because we are going to have really at least 15 acts join us that evening on 3 different stages. Remember last spring we were crazy enough to have 2 stages. Well, now we're even more insane enough to have 3 stages, and I'll walk you through those. We are at Park in the downstairs area, 650 Church Street in Plymouth, for the ITB Halloween 7-inch release party. Now dig this lineup. So the 88.1 Electric Stage, so our own 88.1 The Park on these airwaves, sponsoring the Electric Stage. That is going to see some amazing artists. We've got Daddy and the Longlegs and Me and the Dog, who are both featured on ITB3, which is the 7-inch vinyl that we are promoting and celebrating. But they're going to be joined by Read the Sun, the Doozers, Florida Fruit, the ladies from the park here, are going to be joining us that evening. 2%, which is that hip-hop collective for a lot of graduates from last school year at the park. Sugar Tradition, bringing their hippie sounds, and Michigan Left. That's just one stage. The Sweetwater's Coffee House will see Marquette Winston, Brian Fair, tonight's in-studio guest, Abbey Sexton, Mad, Rough Draft, RJ Redline, and Low Oranges. So they will be bringing the acoustic vibe at the Sweetwater's Coffee House. And then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have Soul Eyes rocking the Domino's Jazz Lounge, the interactive jazz lounge. And by interactive, we mean that all night, people who come to the show can drop in and sit in with Soul Eyes and play a little jazz music or whatever else comes to mind that night. So that's going to offer an interactive opportunity for musicians who come to the show to actually sit in and play a little bit. But it's not just all of those artists. We've also got free pizza, we got free coffee, free tea, free other good stuff, yummy stuff from Sweetwater's. And the first 300 in the door will get a copy of ITB3 on vinyl for free. So I hope everyone memorized all that information. If not, you're going to be able to go to inthebandstudio.com. We're going to flyer the heck out of this show around the park. You will hear about this show. Specifically, you can follow our social media outlets, our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook to continuously get reminders about this as we build towards October 27th. What you really need to know is October 27th, be there. 5 p.m. at Park. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. We are happy to be joined tonight by Brian Fair, our newest board member at the studio, and certainly one of our favorite artists in the band. Brian, welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going great. We are also joined tonight by Maddie the intern. Maddie.
Hello.
Maddie the intern, our latest intern in the band. Maddie's going to be live streaming this on, what are you live streaming on tonight, Maddie?
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook at In the Band Studios, where you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. I guess you just find us, right?
Yes.
So Maddie behind the scenes doing her thing. We appreciate everything Maddie the intern is doing for the studio. Brian Fair, we're going to have a lot to talk about tonight.
Let's do it. Let's get it started.
What we're going to get started with, though, is we're going to play the 2 artists that appear on ITB3. We're going to start with Daddy and the Longlegs, and actually the song that appears on ITB3. It's a fantastic song, and we're looking forward to hearing from Marco and his friends from Daddy and the Longlegs, and then we'll follow that with Little Me and the Dog, and then Brian will come back, and we'll chat, we'll play some songs, and I will play drums on a guitar case.
I love it.
So you can't go wrong with that, right? So let's get things started. This is Can I Hide in Your Bedroom, the newest song from Daddy and the Longlegs, here on The Scene at 88.1 The Park.
disconnecting the dots with panic sinking its claws into me.
Hi, this is Arun Valley, PCEP graduate and guitarist for Saves the Day, and you're listening to The Scene, presented by In the Band on 88.1 The Park, Plymouth and Canton's hit music.
Fox on my shirt stares back at me while the writing on my hand starts to fade slowly. Well, you gave me both in a simpler time when you meant what you said, when you told me you gave me cold feet in more than one way, dragged me through the puddle, couldn't go my own way. I was your puddle, now your feet are wet. Walked on me, discomfort's what you get. You were my puddle, now my feet are cold. It's what I get for buying love where it's not so. Fox on my shirt stares back at me, unlike you, giving my life consistency. 'Cause what I can't get from you, I'll get from my fox, but he can't provide love when my heart's in a box. A box that's with you, oh, a box that's long gone. I think I'll need a change heart, maybe just a new one. You gave me cold feet in more than one way, dragged me through the puddle, couldn't go my own way. I was your puddle, now your feet are wet. Walked on me, discomfort's what you get. You were my puddle, get for buying love where it's not so. The fox on my shirt stares back at me.
The Fox from Me and the Dog here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. So you just heard the two artists that are going to be appearing on ITB3, our third 7-inch vinyl. Before that, you heard Daddy and the Longlegs with Can I Hide in Your Bedroom? And as we bring in Brian Fair, our special guest tonight, recent In the Band board member, do you feel a little, did you wake up, the other morning feeling just a little cooler now that you're on the board of In the Band?
Oh, I was crazy pumped.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hit the street like anybody who would give me an ear. I told them.
Yeah.
I let them know.
Absolutely. And I know, Brian Fair, that you were digging the Daddy and the Longlegs song pretty good.
Dude, that song, that's the first time I'd heard that song. There were some fine pieces of musicianship in that song. I loved it. I loved what they did with the melodies and the different guitars. It was fantastic.
Yeah, when Marco Ezeel sent it to me as like a first draft of this is going to be on the 7-inch, I was pumped.
Yeah,
because
so
it was
good.
Like, yeah, and then when you flip that with the Me and the Dog song, Sidewalk Chalk, that's going to be on the other side. It's going to be a pretty cool 7-inch and a pretty cool party to usher the 7-inch into the world, right?
Oh yeah, the park's gonna get melted. I hope they're ready.
And you will be appearing on the acoustic stage with a bunch of people that you've performed with: Marquette, Abbey, Sexton, Rough Draft. How are you looking forward to playing the show?
It's true. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, we did it last time. Had an opportunity to play, get my feet wet a little bit, know a little bit what's coming down the pike. I'm excited. I feel like we ironed some things out in the set, and looking forward to letting the people hear it.
Absolutely. So you and I go back a long way musically, personally. You kind of tell everybody your In the Band story. I mean, you and I were playing in bands a long time ago, many years ago.
Many years ago.
And it's been very cool to sort of reunite around the studio. So talk about, your early experiences within the band, how you heard about us, and all the kind of impact you've had since.
My story within the band begins in the parking lot of 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I don't know I hope it's okay to plug.
It's okay. You can
Okay.
say 7-Eleven.
I had the kids in the car, man. I was going in to get some Slurpees out of the door. Nick Brandon in the flesh. You mentioned you guys were, I think that might even have been the first week or second week you guys were doing the open mic at Sweetwater.
That's right.
You said, hey, and I had just come out of a time where I had, was going through some stuff and had written quite a few songs. So I just had them, they were holstered. I had never played them for anybody, And you said, hey, look, we're doing this open mic, shoot up. It wasn't too far from my house, and decided to come up there and give it a shot. Extraordinarily surprised when I walked through that door. I heard a couple of these kids singing, and it blew me away. I don't remember kids sounding like that when we were coming up. I mean, we were just struggling to put two notes together. They sounded really, really good, and I was actually quite intimidated. I mean, if you remember that, dude, I stayed at the back of that place till maybe an hour and a half in before I really decided, okay, I got to do this. I can't go home and tell my kids I chickened out. I got to do this, and got up there.
And you played, and it was the beginning of your musical involvement, and you've played at a number of shows since. But I think what's really cool about that night, it was the beginning of you building a lot of relationships with our student musicians, and that's been to me the trademark of your involvement. And from that night on, I think that our students connected with your songwriting, with your performance. I know you eventually played your first True in the band show later, actually the turn of that next year. And it seemed like there was an immediate connection between our students' kind of musical tastes and the authenticity they're looking for and what you presented. Tell me about what it's been like for you to connect with our musicians and kind of serve as kind of another mentor for them.
Yeah, so I'm always looking for a way in, especially with young people. I can remember back to when I was younger, there was a number of guys that came alongside of me, just helped me figure life out, and looking back on it, that was always something that was very, very, very helpful to me. So with that and a number of relationships with, I'm a dad, so I've got that role. I mentor and work with some of the young people at the church I go to. And so it was just very, very natural, to have young people there and, look for opportunities, ways to help them figure out whether it's music or whether it's trying to figure out, just how to get through a day or whatever. And I remember that it may have been the second or third night, Chris Cornell, we'd found out that he had taken his life. And to me, I mean, I remember when Kurt Cobain died, it was pretty heavy, at the school. So that was something I think early on, able to bond over it, just, it's a pretty heavy topic, and sometimes you just don't know how to deal with that stuff, don't know how to talk about that stuff,
Yeah, well, I think it's meant a lot. It only adds to kind of what In the Band is all about, to have more people there to build those strong relationships with our students and kind of mentor them. But what's unique about you is you're also a performer and a songwriter, and so you're able to bring that. So you've performed at a few of our shows. You were one of the last to perform in the library, and you performed downstairs at the coffee house in May, and then you've performed on our new stage. Describe for people what's an In the Band show like, and why should people want to come to one?
I don't know if I have been to a same show for In the Band. They are all, at least the ones I've been a part of, have all been completely different. Especially, the atmosphere, excuse me, is pretty electric. The people who show up are really, really into what's going on, which makes it really, really cool. And you're, it's not like when you go and see a pro group, like they've got it all together. You get to see kids develop, bands develop. I remember seeing Michigan Left a year or so ago and think, hearing what they had to offer, and you could hear the potential, right? We saw them at Chalk in the Park. I mean, they were money. I couldn't believe how good they sounded. The way the instruments meshed, the way they worked with each other, and to be able to see that is pretty great, especially like if you're a musician yourself, because you're always looking at things, trying to figure it out, how to make a better sound, how to get a better rhythm, a better vocal, and whatever. And so to be able to see a bunch of people together working through that, you just grab ideas, and it helps you with your own music. It's
the coolest thing as musicians ourselves is how much the In the Band artists inspire us, right?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
It's always reverse when we hear about everything that we're sort of doing for them, and that's great to hear. But I don't think they sometimes realize everything they're doing for us, the inspiration they're giving us as we continue our own music as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the older I get, the more important it is for me to be around young people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're full of life, they're full of zeal. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff they need to figure out. But there's still a fire there, I think as people get older, it's, there tends to be a separation. Sometimes you get older and you kind of just go off and do your own thing. But I think the way to do it is you have to be around younger people. That generational gap, you shrink it, get it out of the way. And, what they lack, you bring. Mm-hmm. And what you ran out of, they can help fuel that fire a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a good balance.
That's a great way to say it. So speaking of our own music, let's get an in-studio performance going here.
Yeah.
So I know that we're going to start with Stand Tall.
Yep.
So I'll give you a chance to get situated. Brian Fair will be playing on October 27th as part of the Sweetwater's Coffee House stage. He'll be joined by several other artists for the In the Band Halloween 7-inch release show. I'm quite certain you'll be playing this particular song, Stand Tall.
I will.
So as you get ready to play, I too will get ready to play. I'm going to be playing some percussion on your guitar case.
Yeah.
And,
you gonna play on this one too?
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna play like it's 1995 all over again. So we're here on the CNN 881 The Park, and we've got Brian Fair in studio, and we're going to have our first in-studio performance. So this is Stand Tall. This is Brian Fair here on the scene on 881 The Park. Brian, take it away.
If on this hill we die, they'll say we stood tall. Gave up our breath for the fight. We gave it all. Our hearts are bruised and torn, but they beat on. Our shoes are are falling apart and worn. We've been walking for so long. So long. Whoa, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. This world can never stop us. We shine brighter than the darkness. Yeah. And they hit us with their best shot, but we're still standing and they're not. We've been burning hot. Feels like we might explode. I'm not sure if we're the only ones, but I know we're not alone. Not alone. Oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh. This world can never stop us. We shine brighter than the darkness. Yeah. And they hit us with their best shot, but we're still standing and they're not. This world can never stop us. We shine brighter than the darkness. And they hit us with their best shot, but we're still standing and they're not. If on this hill we die, they'll say we stood tall.
Stand Tall from Brian Fair, live in studio here on the scene on 881 The Park. Thanks, Be Fair. That was great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My pleasure.
Tell us more about the song and the lyrics and when you wrote it and how you wrote it.
Sure. I had gone through some stuff. I was actually up all night trying to deal with some pretty bad stuff, some pretty intense stuff. I had a friend who actually stayed up with me all night long. We were texting back and forth, and I mean, it just felt like a war, dude. To really not give up on life and to not walk away from a bunch of responsibilities I had, and the only way that I could put the words together to figure out the feelings that I was feeling of what I needed to do was just in the middle of it, man, just man up and stand up and stand tall and fight for what I needed to do as a man, as a husband, as a dad. And that's the premise of the song, basically where it came from.
Excellent. It's inspiring stuff. You know, I know live that you play with a little bit more technology, right? You've built yourself sort of a rig where you use a lot of effects.
Yeah,
and
I do.
What's very cool is that you're able to create a really big sound, right? So if people come and see you live, they're going to hear a totally different experience. Even with the old trusty guitar case here, you even create your own loops and things like that electronically.
Couple songs, yeah, for sure.
Which is very cool, but it's also cool that you can strip those songs down and come in and just kind of play them with one or two people and have them sound great.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they came from, right? It was just, I mean, it sounds bizarre, but like when I need to clear my head or think straight or work through something, I grab a guitar, I hit the bathroom because it sounds awesome in there. Not to be weird. And I just go in there and I write and I play, right? So they all do have a feeling of, that's their origin, being stripped down and really, really simple. And then it's, okay, so how do we put layers on top of it, you know, after having the kernel of the song? So it feels pretty normal, pretty natural, pretty good to just play it straight up.
It's pretty amazing nowadays what solo singer-songwriters can do in terms of looping and adding layers. And harmonizers,
Yeah.
and you can really create a nice big sound.
Dude,
Just
you
being
can fake
solo.
it so easily.
Yeah.
So easily.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's always fun to watch people, older musicians take advantage of the technology. I mean, it's amazing what the younger musicians already know.
Yeah,
they're-
we've talked about it before, but one of the things that's great about being a musician is playing with other people. But if you don't have that option, you can create your band. You don't have to be a drummer yourself to figure out how to put a loop in or to put a drum track together or whatever. It's got a benefit to it for sure.
For sure. Let's do our second in-studio performance. Now, this is a song that really caught my ear right off the bat. In fact, that earlier during our conversation, you referenced that first night at Sweetwater's. And this is the one that I heard that really stood out in terms of the type of stuff you were writing now. And to me, this song is sort of the, I would say the hit single, right? It's a sort of catchy one. It's the one that seems to be one that can easily resonate with people. So Love Song Number 2 is what it's called, and we're going to play it right now. So we're going to continue with having Brian Fair here in studio. Once again, Brian will be appearing on October 27th at the In the Band 7-inch release party for our Halloween 7-inch ITB3. So let's get a little Love Song Number 2. Is there a Love Song Number 1, by the way?
There actually is.
Is
There
there?
is,
Okay.
yeah. So
It's kind of interesting. 2 came out before 1.
no, 2 came out after 1.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
basically I wrote a song a number of years ago, and then I ripped the soul out of it. Like I took the guts of that song and just reworked it, and I was like, well, it's a different song, but we'll just call it Love Song Number 2.
Love it. Well, let's do it then. So this is Love Song Number 2, live in studio from Brian Fair here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
I need to know that you're enough. Tell me I'm going to make it through the night. I need to know you'll never bluff, that there's some healing coming soon to make it worth the fight. Show me your face, let me see you here. Let me hear your voice loud and clear. Feeling fade these pages, let's start over again. I'll come broken hope in you, my friend. Need to know this air is clean. Give me some oxygen. It's getting hard to breathe. I need to know it's your story and not more fiction. Take me through the sea. Show me your grace, help me see you here. Let me hear your voice loud and clear. Fill in these spaces, make me whole again. The broke down places where this all began. And tell me, what's your name? My blinded eyes have seen your light shining in the night, editing every chapter. Oh, all my tries never could get by. Yet you gave me a ride that night, in spite of all my broke down answers. It was there in your eyes that I found the sight to live this life alive, you and me forever after. in your eyes that I found the sight to live this life alive, me and you forever after.
Love song number 2 from Brian Fair live here in studio. Thanks, Brian.
You got it.
Love it. Love it. Those who are tuning in via live stream or live whatever Maddie the Intern's doing. Maddie, what is it called, Maddie the Intern? Instagram.
IG Live.
Instagram Live. Thank you. I sounded very old there for 30 seconds.
Can I tell you something?
Maddie the Intern doing the Instagram Live. Thank you, Maddie the Intern. And for those who saw that, they would see just how kind of well you perform, how into it you are. Yes, tell me something when you want to tell me.
If you saw that post on Instagram today, you are old, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Brian posting some very old pictures of us to promote tonight's show. I was not, yes. Poor Maddie the Intern had to see pictures of us from way back in the day. And
hey, she's the intern, man. You got to deal with it. That's part of it. It comes with the territory.
Absolutely. So yeah, thanks Maddie the Intern for taking this stuff to the internet waves as we are here on the airwaves.
The World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web, exactly. Brian, let's shift to the influences segment. So it's always cool for our in-studio guests to give us an idea of their influences. And we talked about a variety of bands. I know that Switchfoot's a band that means a lot to you.
Sure,
Coldplay, or at least one Coldplay album, as we talk about so much. The Ghost Stories album.
Ghost Stories album's fantastic, yeah.
Is a huge influence on you. But what I think it's great that you chose a true influence on your younger musical life, which was The Verve. And we know this from our days back playing in the bands that we played with. This was a band that was exceptionally inspirational to us, wasn't it?
Yeah. When you're a younger musician, early on, you're just trying to play. You're practicing chords, you're practicing scales. You're trying to be like other people. You're practicing other people, and at some point, you find your sea legs. You find your voice. You find your song. You find your sound. At least that's what you're going towards. And so when I was like, thinking back through the many musical influences, I think the Verve, we had heard Slide Away, off of the previous album,
Storm in Heaven.
Yeah. And, you hear something like that and you're like, what in the world is that? I've never heard anything like that before. And when A Northern Soul came out, it was like the first time I comprehended somebody saying something meaningful or trying to, right? And you were maybe a freshman, I think I was a junior or something like when I heard that. And, you're wrestling through things at that age. You're trying to figure out who in the world am I? How do I fit into this world? All of that stuff. And to me, these, like the songs on that album, it was like he was in that same spot. A number of the songs are dealing with that kind of stuff. So that hit me, and I think it's come with me all of these years. When I'm writing a piece of music, it wasn't the stuff from the 80s, right? It wasn't like the Poison albums where, they were just writing about whatever, would sell a record, or, I don't want to dog Bret Michaels. He's still the man. But, when the Verve comes along, he's trying to appeal, more than to the pocketbook. He's trying to write a meaningful piece of music. And I think that hit me. That's the first time I heard it. And it stuck with me all these years.
And you chose the opening track, which is always
opening
good.
Track's a killer track.
I'm just a sucker for opening tracks. I just love it. Dude, it's such a big thing on an album, right?
It's a great one.
So Brian Fair Influences segment appropriately chose The Verve, appropriately chose the A Northern Soul album, and very appropriately chose, in my opinion, the best song on the album. Here is the opening track, A New Decade, from The Verve on the Influences segment here on the scene on 88.1 The Park.
I got it Isbister Elementary, and you're listening to 88.1 The Park, Plymouth and Canton's hit music.
Never thought it could be this easy in life. Then the sun started going down. These lights remind me of how we used to be. In all these lights remind me of you. And I'll find my way. I'll find my way. I'll go back to San Diego to get away from you. Sevenfold gazing as people walk on by. 747's cruising as they cover the sky. Always envisioned this would be city life. Then the birds started flocking home. These lights remind me of how we used to be. In all these lights remind me of you. And I'll find my way. I'll find my way. I'll go back to Detroit City to figure out what I'm gonna do. It's you I miss. It's you I miss. These lights remind me of how we used to be. In all these lights, they shine on back to you. These lights remind me of how we used to be. In all these Chicago lights, and brought me back to you.
The time is about 29 minutes after 8 p.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and luggage stowed until the aircraft is parked at the gate and the seatbelt sign is turned off.
These Lights from Kevin Allen here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Always good to hear from Kevin. That is off his brand new EP that just released a couple months ago. Everyone should go check that out on your various digital outlets. I'm sure you'll be seeing Kevin Allen again sometime soon at an In the Band show near you. Before that, we heard The Verve with A New Decade as part of the Influences segment. Man, it was good to hear The Verve on the radio. I don't know when the last
Holds
time.
up.
It certainly does. Maddie the intern, had you ever heard of The Verve?
I haven't.
There's no way you've heard of The Verve,
No.
right?
No.
She wasn't born.
She wasn't born. No, because that record came out in 1997. Is that right?
No, because we were
96.
Yeah.
96. What year were you born, Maddie the intern?
2002.
Yeah, Maddie the intern wasn't even an idea when that record was born. What did you think of The Verve?
I like the sound of their song. It was very interesting and kind of unique. Like, not what I'm used to, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, we've converted yet another person into...
She's on the doorstep. She'll
She'll
keep
get,
working
we'll
her.
get her there. Absolutely. So we're going to go into our time machine. We always do this every show, and we're going to go way, way, way back, or at least in this case, maybe 12 years back or so. And we're going to bring in Bill Keith, station manager of 88.1. Bill, how you doing tonight?
Good.
We appreciate all you do to allow the scene to be here on the airwaves. And tonight we got a band called The Finer Things, and it's a great choice. Tell us about it.
Yeah, their roots, well, they were in Ann Arbor, I don't know for how long, but they recorded this album in 2011. But their roots go back to early 2000s when Dave Hawkins was a student here at PCP. And I remember him from performing at some of the Battle of the Bands that the station had put on, and was really struck by what a talented guy he was. Then we hadn't heard anything from him, and in about 2011, they connected with us again with their CD and came in and performed live in our studio. Matter of fact, I think they might have recorded this CD with another. I'm trying to see if I can find out where they recorded it, but I can't find it really right now. But they recorded an album called All I See Is Blue. Very creative cover. Kind of reminds me of a mix of the Get Up Kids and Reggie and the Full Effect. And you pointed out Ben Folds 5.
Yeah, I definitely heard that.
So,
for
yeah,
sure.
you can definitely hear that.
And we had fun listening to it the other day, and I think people will have fun hearing it. What track are we going to hear, Bill?
We're going to hear the last track on the album called Today, and I think this is the song that we used to play on the station.
Excellent. So the only thing more interesting than an opening track, Ryan Fair, is a closing track. So that's what we're going to hear right now. Here is Today on the Scene Rewind from The Finer Things on 881 The Park. That's Today from The Finer Things. That was our The Scene Rewind segment. Thank you, Bill Keith, for another great choice. It's always fun to get back into our time machine and listen to PCEP bands of the past, which there are many. Maddie, the intern, what'd you think of The Finer Things?
Again, it's something I'm more into, really. That's closer to what I listen to. I really liked it. I really did.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Be Fair Music, thoughts?
I'm sure they're great guys.
I like the musicianship. I really dig what they're doing with the keyboards, and that was a good choice. And plus, their cover art is very cool. Even if you didn't dig the music, you would dig the cover. So thank you, Bill Keith. That was a fun Scene Rewind segment as always. Let's get back to some fun with Brian Ferris. So we got the show on October 7th, right? And
yeah, man.
Your first, I think the first 7-inch show that you at least played at, if not went to, was our ITB2 release party in May.
That's right.
2 stages, 14 acts. Now we're 3 stages and 15 plus acts. And with the Interactive Jazz Lounge, who knows what we're going to find. Why should people come check out our show?
Well, I think it's, first of all, it sounds small. If we had 2 stages and 14, why are we 3 with only 15? That's first.
Okay.
There is so many different styles of music that will be represented there. I mean, you will find one that you identify with. I mean, you know, from 2%, right, which is more of a hip hop feel, to you know, Marquette Winston, just very different sounds, you know, and so for $10, right, not to mention that it goes to a great cause, right? I mean, what we are able to do in the community and help these kids out and give them a place to practice and community. For that aside, I mean, where can you go for $10, right? Like, that's like value meal money these days.
Well, and you get free pizza, free coffee, free
coffee, and just look, you know, I mean, it's, to me, it's worth $10. There's Mother's Pizza. You know this place? They used to have an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. We used to just roll in there. It was more expensive, right? So just come in, if you just want to, just come and eat the pizza.
That's right, just for the pizza. I think you're right. I think this is going to be bigger and better than ever. We're super excited about it. The diversity of artists is fantastic.
Absolutely.
I think you won't see that at a lot of other shows. And to your point, the $10 it costs to come have such a fun night goes to In the Band, and we survive on donations. That's how we survive, is to do these shows and to raise money for, we're a 501c3. Everything is free. Our students don't have to pay for anything. They use the space for free. They play our shows for free. So it's awesome. And this is how we do it. This is how we survive. So we do ask people to come support the studio and support our students. Speaking of our students, we're going to hear from Zoe Stewart, one of our all-time favorites, who's now away at school. I'm sure she's doing great things at her respective university, but we sure miss having her around here. So let's bring Zoe Stewart back to the airwaves here. This is the opening track off her recent EP that everyone should check out. Here is Starlight on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
Kings and the queens of that poetry made a deal with the devil. Believe he got much more than he
Starlight from Zoe Sturritt here on the CNN 881 The Park. It's amazing how quickly an hour can go by. Did something fall in the studio?
I don't know what it was.
Oh, as long as it wasn't a guitar, that's all I care about.
It was not guitar.
All right,
We're good.
Cool. Excellent. So it's good to hear from Zoe, and it's amazing how quickly an hour goes by, right? Time flies when you're having fun or something like that. Is that what they say?
Yeah, this was good. It's good. It's good people. To
Good
be with
people,
here,
good
yeah.
times. It's been fun to be joined by Brian Fair, a.k.a. B Fair Music, Maddie the Intern being here tonight. And Maddie the Intern, you got to come to every show now. Because this is like, it's like one of the best shows we've had. And I always give Maddie the Intern all the credit.
Thanks.
So we appreciate that. And one last plug, October 27th. And we will be checking in with a show that week. So the Thursday before, we're going to feature a ton of these bands that are going to be as part of the show. Once again, the 881 The Park Electric Stage with a variety of bands featuring Daddy and the Long Legs and Me and the Dog. The Sweetwater's Coffee House featuring our own Brian Fair. We got Abbey Sexton, Marquette Winston, and many more. The Domino's Jazz Lounge, the Interactive Jazz Lounge featuring Soul Eyes.
Let's do it. Let's get interactive.
I'm going into the jazz. I'm going to play drums
That's
for
where
an
you're
hour.
just gonna stay?
Yeah, I'm going to just hang out in there, eat pizza, and play the drums. Actually, you know what? I might play every instrument that night because it's jazz. You could do whatever you want, right? You hear some of that squeaky jazz.
We need some players.
We
don't take it the wrong way. We need some players.
We need some true jazzers.
Yeah, for
some
sure.
true jazzers for sure. So, first 300 through the door get a free copy of ITB 3 on vinyl, free pizza, free coffee, free all sorts of other stuff. $10 at the door. Come join us. Come support In the Band and our artists. Brian Fair, thank you so much for coming tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
I do not think this will be the last time we do it.
I hope not.
And we'll make sure.
I think we should do it every night.
For sure. But special thanks to Bill Keith and 881 for being such great partners with In the Band. We appreciate that every single day. We appreciate everybody tuning in and for all that you do to support In the Band and our artists. Once again, we're there to provide community access and support for local musicians, and we love doing it. And we're happy to be looking forward to a great show on October 27th. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to take you out with one of our favorite bands and one of our favorite songs, and a band that will be on the electric stage on October 27th at Park. Here is Waves from Michigan Left. We'll see you later in October here on the CNN 881 The Park.
Smile straight
minds years ago. The two young lovers wouldn't let go. Bells